Hey yo, welcome. Today I'm going to give you my first impression of Saturno Movement's calisthenic pull workout. I've been scouring the internet for a good pull workout that scaled well to a beginner, but also was designed to have similar movements that progressed with me as I get stronger. I want to stick with this movement for at least 6 weeks so that I can really focus on getting some of the technique dialed in. So I thought it would be fun to take a first impression video so that we can have something to look back to.
This first movement is supposed to be explosive pull-ups, but I had to turn it down to the progression that's the lowest, and it's kind of like these explosive rows. It looks like I'm doing it with poor form, but it's supposed to be explosive, and you're supposed to be able to blast through it a little bit. I ended up moving my feet out a little bit more over the progressions of the sets, but this is set 1, and then this right here that we're looking at is now set 4. As you can see, I cozied in, got a little bit more horizontal. As you get more horizontal, it gets more and more difficult. I'm still able to explode through, but this is a little bit closer to that threshold where I'm finishing up in that RPE 8 or 9 with only a rep or 2 left in the tank. This next exercise is supposed to be the lever, but since I am weak, I'm doing a very, very early progression. When you're having a hard time doing a new movement, eccentric, slow letdowns are really, really great for helping yourself find it. So believe it or not, this is as slow as I can let myself slowly rotate out from this tucked position. As I get stronger, I'll be able to extend one leg and then maybe extend 2 legs spread and eventually 2 legs straight together like Saturno does in his video. However, after a few sets, this gets more and more difficult. I really was thankful to have this wall for walking my feet up to put myself in this initial position to roll down from, because I am lacking so much lat strength. Even after a year of climbing, I still just don't have the lats to do this move very well. That was my second set that we just watched. I had some filming problems on the first one. And then this is set 4. As you can see, the sets get harder and harder. I'm kind of wiggling around a little bit up there and just having a much more difficult time trying to be graceful, slowly letting myself down here. I really feel like I should be able to take a 3 Mississippi to let myself down here, and here I'm barely able to do 1 or 2 seconds. So I have a lot of room for growth, but that's what we're doing here, is growing. This next exercise, if you're doing the fullest expression of the movement, is pull-ups. Wide grip pull-ups superset immediately by close grip pull-ups. I don't have the strength, so I'm using the thickest, most heavy resistance band I can get for helping me out through here so that I can try my best to bring my chin up above the bar. I'm swinging around a whole lot here with my feet, and that's because I need to go slower. If I slow down a little bit, I'll still get assistance from the band, but a little bit less of that snappy swing, and I can focus on my form and getting stronger instead of just cranking out reps. Here you can see I've moved on into the close grip and am really fatiguing hard, just trying my best to continue to keep movements coming down the pipe. Here for the final set, I was getting a little bit cocky and trying to get a little bit less assistance from the band. So I tried to use the band only down to my knee instead of all the way down to my feet. It certainly did the trick of providing less assistance, but as you can see here, it really hurt me and I couldn't crank out reps anymore, and I had to switch over to holding really slow eccentric letdowns. But that's the modification that I had in front of me. This is set 4, and I'm really, really beat because I'm not used to doing more than 3, 4, or 5 pull-ups, which is why I wasn't seeing any progress. I need to use bands and get my reps into that 7 or 8 per set so that I can start seeing 30-ish on a workout. Whereas without bands, best case scenario, I'm getting 8 or 9 pull-ups in between all 4 sets, because I really max out at 3 or 4 bodyweight pull-ups without any sort of assistance. This next exercise is the reverse fly, and it is a bit awkward here on first impression. I'm looking forward to seeing what 4 to 6 weeks of doing this movement has in store for me to see if it feels less weird. But I think it's just because I'm weak and I lack some of the stabilizers that help me use my primary movers to get this exercise done. As with many bodyweight movements, trying to find that good placement of your feet that as the right body angle is the hardest part. So experience is going to be what I'm hoping is going to make this feel a little bit better so I can be more diligent on crushing out my workout. This exercise for set 1, because I was trying to figure out how to do all of the different workouts in Saturno's pull workout, I ended up taking about an hour and 15 minutes to do this whole workout. I'm hoping once I catch my stride to be able to get it done in about a half hour. Here on the final set of these reverse flies, you can see I kind of gave up a little bit and brought my feet in so that I could focus on having nice, smooth, and steady form and do this movement the way that I believe it's intended to be done. And this is the best I could put together form-wise for set 4. As you can see, my forearms are starting to give out. I'm dumping into my fingers, and that's kind of part of the practice here, is forearm grip strength is certainly a part of a good pull workout. This is single arm body weight rows. The form that I've been working on trying to get right is not having any twisting in the hips. You're supposed to use your core to stabilize your body and not let your shoulders rotate, or especially not let your hips rotate. This is done one-armed, so you kind of superset with each exercise, and I was told that bringing this offhand into the center kind of helps you lock in, and I've had some good success with how this felt. Another subtlety of this that I'm getting wrong during some of my reps is you're supposed to have a supination and pronation of that wrist. So as you pull, your thumb kind of comes up pointing towards the ceiling, and as you let yourself down, the thumb goes back to pointing towards the wall. As with any workout in the gym with resistance or body weight or otherwise, range of motion is really key. So I'm trying my best to have that full extension of the arm and then a full retraction, trying to pull that elbow back as far as I can without too much of that shoulder and hip rotation that I was talking about. Here on set 4, you can see it starting to get a little bit tougher, but slow and steady, trying to stay strong and not letting any of that form dump out the window, and that's just how you got to do it. This exercise is designed to be a long, slow, single, perfect form pull-up. Slow, 20 seconds up, 20 second hold, 20 seconds down. As you can see, after this workout, I can't really do much of that at all, even with this big old band. So this is the best that I could get, while doing my damnedest to try to stop that swing back and forth and maintain decent form. But a slow pull-up is hard while getting the assistance from a band. This next one is bodyweight bicep curls. You're trying to keep your elbow straight out perpendicular from your chest, and I ended up bailing with my left hand and supporting my elbow in the proper form so that I could make sure to be pulling from the right angle, but I do have some pretty weak biceps. Just like with the rows, this one is all about shoulder twisting and hip twisting being a thing you're going to try to use your core strength to minimize, and it can get tough. I don't feel like my biceps are good enough for this movement. It feels like it's only the middle of the range of motion, and I'm not getting that full length. Here on the final set, you can see I'm using my offhand to support the elbow and keep myself in an ideal position. If you're having a hard time with this, I strongly suggest this. I still have some learning to do on the form to maximize this range of motion and figure it out. Maybe it's just I have to get a little stronger in my bicep before this motion is even accessible to me. Who knows? Well, thank you guys for watching. This was the last exercise. Once again, this is Saturno Movements pull workout, a bodyweight calisthenics pull workout. Most of this is modified down to the easiest progression possible. In his video, he does a good job of explaining early progressions to later progressions. So I think this one could scale to just about any skill level, as long as you're about at a baseline of where I'm at on the beginner standpoint. It would be hard to be much weaker than me, but that's where we're at. Thanks for following along. I look forward to updating you guys in 6 weeks so you can have a better idea of what this workout was like. I'm concurrently doing Chris Haria's bodyweight legs, his core, and Tom Merrick's push workout, as well as a few other things. So check out my channel. I'll have some first impressions up of those, and here in another 6 weeks or so, I should have some 6-week updates to let you guys know what I think about that pull, that push, that legs, and that core. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you kick some ass out there. See you soon.